clothes from the 60s, the very nice clothes and the rest of it. Do they have the dry cleaners on board?
I don't know. I'm sure that they pretty much have everything. It's certainly a closed system, and they have, but things are rationed, like how much the food is rationed. Everything is organized to a T.
So everybody's thin.
Well, yeah, because you're in one respect there's a wasting of food. I don't know past the third or fourth episode. Unfortunately, we don't have all. I just had a question over there. Do you know all 6 episodes? I'm like, no, we don't have that. So it's all in Phil's mind. And whenever you get him on set, you're kind of like, can you give me some more snippets? Can you give me some more information? But all he has thought all of that out. I was talking to Jeff Wattel. He was like, I am amazed. Any question I put in front of him,
he was good.
He's got an answer for it. Yeah.
I didn't ask him that one, but I asked him just about everything else.
There certainly is a way to clean your clothes. Yes.
Does this show? I know it's still early on, but does this show have the feel like it was when you were early on in Battlestar, where you just waiting to see what's going to happen next? Like you're still unsure. It's just kind of a new thing every time. Like you know where it's going towards the end already, or
no? I really do not know past. We just got episode 4. Right. We all fly back tomorrow. And on Monday, I think all 4 of us are on set on Monday, starting episode 3. So, we've got little snippets from Phil, and he's certainly got ideas past the initial 6. He's actually got ideas for seasons, but it feels great. It feels great. There's a lot of parallels in terms of when I got Battlestar Galactica, just in terms of the filming, not even storyline wise, but there's a huge ensemble cast, bigger on this show than there was on Battlestar, and the sets are bigger, and but everybody has come together, and we're already like close knit, and that's one thing. Just completely, again, not storyline wise, but just the people that you're working with, the dynamic has been really nice, because on Battlestar we became incredibly close. We're all still really close. 10 years later, we're all still really close, and some of my closest friends. So this has a really good group of there's a lot. There's only 4 of us here, but there's a ton back in Montreal, and they're all emailing us, "How's it going?" And you don't always get that. You get some people that are trying to compete with each other. You get people that arguments, and that's not to say that arguments aren't going to happen, but it's a very supportive group, and I think when you're dealing with a show that has a lot of layers, has a lot of darkness to it, in some respect, you have to have that companionship and the support of each other, because that's when you can take risks. It's when you feel safe to take a risk.
They weren't able to attend the panel because the press room is about as far away from the panel room as they could possibly make it.
Yes.
So you might want to tell them about your character.
My character is Viondra Dellinger, the wife of the captain of the ship, played by Brian. And obviously, since the show, the ship launched in '63, there is an ode to the '60s and sort of women behind the man at that point. We haven't gone through the sexual revolution, the cultural revolution. There's a level of racism. There's a level of certainly sexism. So Viondra is a very strong character, and in our times, maybe she's still a formidable force, but she has to kind of go through back channels, and so she's quite a manipulative character. It's fun to play, but she's she wants to stay in power. There's also class struggles. There's kind of an upper deck, lower deck situation, and both of us were born on the lower decks, and we made our way up to the position of power on the ship. And Viondra will do anything in her power to stay in power.
So we were hearing about the massive sets. How different is that from the sets for Galactica?
I thought Galactic sets were huge, and they were. I think even through the 5th season, I would get lost in the corridors. You're trying to make it off set. You're like, I'm in a perpetual corridor. I don't know how to get off. But the ships with this, it's very unique because one of the sets is built 4 levels high, filmable levels. So the ship, because it's more, with a nuclear propulsion ship like that, you could put a massive size thing into space, as opposed to, it's not a military ship where everything does have its precise purpose, but you're also these people have to live on it for 100 years. So there is a beach. There is a, it's water reclamation, but it looks like a beach. There's, the staterooms, there's a bar, there's everything. And it all has this ode to the 60s, so I think visually it's going to be stunning to look at, and it doesn't have a claustrophobic feel at all. It has a grand, open, airy feel. I guess I liken it more to like a cruise ship type thing, where massive size. I think they actually had to, I heard that in the 4-story high one, they actually had to tie into the foundation of the studio because they were worried that the weight of it would actually start to cave in the floor of the studio if they didn't tie into the foundation of the studio. So these sets you're not taking down. It's not like you're taking them up and down if we do go, between seasons, if we do manage to go forward. You're not taking them down until we're done with the show. Yes.
So what was it about the script when you were given it that drew you to the character?
I was drawn in by the human drama of it all. There's certainly some twists and turns that we're not allowed to talk about. Really, there's a lot of layers of an onion. But not that funny-headed creatures and all that isn't fun, and certainly a place for it. Me personally, I'm more drawn to the human condition and what people are put through and how they deal with what they're put through. And with Battlestar, I was, a lot of it was how do these people are put through an intense, they're in wartime, an intense amount of hardship to deal with, and how do they move forward. And this is completely different, but again, if these people are on this ship, and most of them were born on the ship, they don't have another choice. And I also fascinated by kind of the parallel humanity. It's how have these people developed when they're taken away from the rest of what's going on Earth. I just found it fascinating. And I'm sorry I keep doing this. I normally don't have long nails, and my character has long nails, and I'm just I don't know what to do with my hands. I'm an active motorbike rider and everything, and I'm just
You can't use your iPad. You can't use your iPhone.
no.
Or
It's
iPad.
like you got to go.
They have a stylus you can use. Give it one of those little. They have a pin that has a stylus.
I
on the
need to
back
do
of it.
that. I need to do that because it's taking me 10 times longer to write an
My
email because I
wife
keep
has
hitting the
French
wrong
nails.
buttons.
Same thing. She says French
Because the nails don't work on the thing. So yeah, sorry, I keep doing this.
Were there children on the ship when it launched?
Yes, there were children on the
I
ship
don't
when
think
it
anybody's
launched.
asked that.
Yes, there were some.
Were they
children.
teenagers or were they all ages?
I know of one specifically that was 6. So again, we're just getting into it. We're just starting. So I don't know everything yet in terms of the show, but there were some.
Because they mentioned on the
children.
panel that your age group probably will have never seen Earth and will probably never seen Cartoon.
Yeah, we might not live long enough to make it there. But Al's character, he was probably a toddler when he was on the ship, because I don't know exactly what he's playing on the show, but similar to what he is in age now. So he's older than 50, so he would have, not by much, but he would have been a toddler. Yeah.
So someone would probably already have died, or had they not?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, definitely some have already passed away. And that's with also the genetic pairing and things, is not everybody has to have a birth control implant, because nobody can just have a kid because they want to have a kid. So my character, for instance, with my husband, we were passed over to have kids because there weren't enough people that died while we were in the age to have kids. So if there is a death on the ship of old age or illness or whatever, then there's a spot that opens up, and there's a ceremony that goes on once a year, and it's the birth list ceremony, and it's a computer genetically paired. Well, people are paired earlier on, and they're married, and then it's decided who can attempt to have a child, and then their implant is removed, and so my character was never given the chance to have a child.
He talked about a little bit about that when Phil did when he was here. He talked about the genetic diversity. So your characters then weren't able to have their genes added to the pool because you weren't able to reproduce. So it leads to the question is, I'm surprised they don't have more than one partner.
Well, maybe they secretly do, but you've got the implant in, yes.
Yeah.
There's certainly love triangles and things going on, that's for certain. It's all the computer system runs it, and people are chosen to who can have a child.
That would expand the gene pool.
It certainly would, yes. But then you may have too many people having kids, and the ship just can't can't handle that
No,
many
you
people.
still can allocate them. but
Oh, yes,
you
yes,
would
I
have
see
one
what
with
you're
this gentleman, and you'd have another one with that one, and expand the pool.
Yes, that's something we may have to look at.
I mean, that in like the 6th episode or something.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
so
Thank
much.
you.